Lonely Monk Productions. I don't know if y'all have seen Jim Henson Idea Man on Disney Plus yet, but yo!
That's my Jawn!
Hey, yo, displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. You're tasting things that don't need to be measured. What's good, friends and family, neighbors near and far? Welcome to an all-new episode of the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast. The podcast, website, brand, movement, way of life dedicated to the embrace and championing of your passions. I'm your host, Nate Runkle, a.k.a. John McLaughlin, a.k.a. Nate 3.0, back at it again with yet another episode of the podcast. As always, I hope this podcast finds you all in good health and in good spirits. On today's episode, I sit down with Alex Wash of the band Granddogs. They just released a new single, Goddess of Love, and we talk about that, the upcoming album Peaches, playing piano in a piano bar, and so much more. And that's coming up in a bit. But first, it's June? What the heck? How? Why? Is this the byproduct of being busy that time just flies by like this? Because I am busy. Okay, quick rundown of announcements here. First, if you are listening to this on Monday, June 3rd, tomorrow night, along with Dan Drago of the 25 O'Clock Pod, we will be joining our pal Philip Reese on the Your Next Favorite Band live stream to break down some of the area's great music festivals, as well as some summer shows that we're looking forward to. You won't want to miss it. Hit up YouTube and search at Next Fave Band and join us for a live chat. That's Next FAV Band. Then, on Thursday, the D&D Actual Play podcast that I produce, Oops All Bards, returns from our mid-season hiatus with an all-new episode, picking up from the cliffhanger that we had at the end of episode 6. Super excited for you guys to hear the back half of this season. Where it's all headed is an entertaining surprise, so I can't wait for you guys to experience it. You know, I got the radio show at Why Not Radio every Monday night from 5 to 8 p.m. And, of course, this week's episode of the Too Old, Too New podcast. And then, on top of all of that, this past weekend, I entered a 24-hour songwriting contest. That's right. WXPN put together a songwriting contest inviting the listeners to record a song based on a prompt that they announced on Saturday at noon and gave everyone 24 hours to write, record, and submit that song to be judged for a chance to win $1,000, some studio time at Milk Boy Studios, and a chance to perform the song live at the Exponential Music Festival in September. I was super excited by the challenge of seeing what I could put together with such a quick turnaround, and I gotta say, I am so ridiculously happy with my song. Look, I know there is zero chance of me placing in this contest. There are so many brilliant and talented musicians who have entered, including friends and former guests of the show. But the exercise itself was so inspiring, and the results? Well, hell, I got a new song out of it that I love to play. I had a gig this past Saturday at Harris Hill Brewing, and I used that opportunity to debut it, and people really dug it. So I thought, maybe I'll share it here with you guys today. All right, the prompt that they announced was summertime, and so with a little play on words, I wrote a composition entitled Some of Her Time. You see what I did there? Oh, so witty. But before I play it, one thing I want to note here. If you pay attention closely to the verses and pre-choruses of this song, you may notice that the first letter of every line of the song spells out summertime. How's that for accepting a prompt? All right, here you go. Here is my song submission, Some of Her Time. Enjoy. Summer sun, the weekend's just begun, yeah, and under them blue skies I'm ready for the fun. I met a girl and knew she was the one, yeah, melted my cold heart, all knots had come undone. Evening came, a breeze had settled in, rearranging them logs so the fire can begin. Time to fan the flame, hand holding without sin. I don't know if there's any place where I'd rather have been. I moved in close and knew that she could feel my heart beating. And everything was perfect there. some of her time, and we danced in the moonlight, laughing, drinking wine. And I knew everything was gonna be fine in the summertime. She was mine, her tastes were quite refined, and although mine weren't, man, I knew she didn't mind. We was in love and our hearts intertwined in the summertime. Some would run, not to be outdone, uncertain if her feelings were felt for everyone. Me, I stayed, my heart cannot be swayed, made a choice and now I'm living it, I could never be dismayed. Every night it would be my delight, run my fingers through her hair with our emotions taking flight. Told her in shining armor I was gonna be her knight. I would say to every dragon, man, there's gonna be a fight. It meant the world that she was standing there right next to me. Everything was gonna be alright. She was fine, she gave me some of her time, and we danced in the moonlight, laughing, drinking wine. And I knew everything was gonna be alright in the summertime. She was mine, her tastes were quite refined, and although mine weren't, man, I knew she didn't mind. We was in love and our hearts were intertwined in the summertime. She was mine, she gave me some of her time, and we danced in the moonlight, laughing, drinking wine. And I knew everything was gonna be fine in the summertime. I felt her heart, it was racing just like mine, as I leaned in to kiss her when our thoughts were aligned. And I knew she was gonna be mine in the summertime. She was mine, she gave me some of her time in the summertime. We was in love and she gave me some of her time in the summertime. She was mine and she gave me some of her time in the summertime. We was in love and she gave me some of her time in the summertime. Felt her heart, it was racing just like mine, as I leaned in to kiss her when our thoughts were aligned. And I knew she was gonna be mine in the summertime. It's fun, right? I'll put a link in the show notes to the video submission of that song, as well as everything else that I mentioned and plugged up there. You know, of course, you can always check out www.yothat'smyjawn.com to find all of the current goings-on, as well as links to merchandise and previous episodes of the show, if you're into that sort of thing. And, of course, you can always follow us on the socials at YoThat'sMyJawn on, well, everything. Cool. Okay, enough of me. Let's get on with the show. My guest today is a multi-instrumentalist, formerly of the bands Hang the DJ and Percy, and is most recently the creative force behind the self-described rock and roll cerebus, Granddogs. This past week, they released their latest single, Goddess of Love, from their upcoming album Peaches, coming this August. He is also currently in residency as a dueling pianist at Philadelphia's Howl at the Moon. Folks, it is my honor to welcome to the show, Alex Wash. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined today by the great Alex Wash of the band Granddogs. Alex, thanks for joining me on Yo, That's My Jawn.
Hey, Nate. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited to have this conversation. I always like to let the audience know a kind of connection. And we are both co-members of a Philly musician Discord. And that's kind of how we met and stuff like that. So this is our first time actually having like a somewhat face-to-face conversation. So I'm excited to have it.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're very eloquent in the messages and the Discord and everything. But it is nice. It's wild that your voice sounds like that all the time, Nate. That must be incredible.
Well, you know, you put it on and sometimes you forget to turn it off.
like you order coffee, the barista just must be charmed.
That's it's the gift and the curse. The gift and the curse. But tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you grew up.
All right, so I'm from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. I'm from Lidditz, PA, from the Amish country.
Okay, okay. And how long were you out there? Because I know there was some movement in your childhood. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. So like up until like what Lidditz, Pennsylvania, until I graduated high school. Like I think
Okay.
I moved there when I was 1 years old, and then graduated college from Millersville. So all kind of in the same area. I
Yeah.
took a little detour, went to Nashville for a little bit to kind of just crash and burn with the band, and then finished college, and then I moved to Texas after college. I started doing like tour manager work for this band called We Live at Midnight. So that kind of brought me out to Texas. And then I started doing dueling pianos, kind of like song requests, birthday, bachelorette stuff. And that brought me back to Philadelphia. I'm still working for Howl at the Moon Philadelphia. We've been open since 2013. So
That's super cool. Yeah, I when you had told me that you were working dueling pianos at a piano bar, like I about did a backflip because I've been looking for something fun like that for quite some time and did not know that place, that How at the Moon, even existed. So now I'm super excited to come check that out some night.
yeah,
Um,
come through. Especially like on a Thursday. I think a Thursday is really good because it's very slow. You can request whatever you want. You can just sit back and chill and like hang out. You can talk to the piano players. Like it's very loose. On Fridays, it can get a little like collegey.
Okay. Yeah, I will
You
not
catch
be
my
anywhere
drift?
near that. Yeah, that's in my list of turnoffs. No, I'm just kidding. But I remember those days. It's just I'm far removed from them, and so it's
Right.
best they don't want me there either. Okay, so it's not like I'm being a snob. All right. Uh,
Yeah.
but no, I guess dust up on Good Night Saigon, and we'll be good. Um,
Okay. All right. Duly noted.
so when you were a kid, like what kind of music was playing around in the house? What were your folks listening to?
Let's see, my mom was into like the singer-songwriter female like 70s like Carly Simon, your Carole Kings, and my dad was like a Leonard Skinner guy. He was like a jean jacket smoking cigs like
Yeah.
dude and stuff. So kind of like a real like fire and ice, and I feel like they met in the middle with the Beatles.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah.
Did either of them play music, or were you kind of the initial jump into the music maker?
So my parents didn't play music at all, but my grandfather is an accordion player, and he would like play like weddings and stuff. Like he would get the bar gigs, and like if you needed some polka, uh, Robert Stanley Wash was your guy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And also was my intro. My parents didn't play music either, and my grandmother played accordion. As a matter of
Hmm.
fact, it's now my
Oh
accordion because
wow.
she passed away, and that was like everybody. We were like, kind of, who's going to take this? And I was like, I don't think that's up for debate. Like it's mine. But yeah, that was my intro as well. Like she used to always, and as a matter of fact, she in the end she had really bad dementia. But one thing
Hmm.
she could always do was if you put the accordion in her hands, she could immediately just start playing any like old song that she used to play, which is the magic of music, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. That's
So,
awesome.
so your first instrument was piano, I'm going to guess, with all of this
Yes.
piano love. How did you make your way to the piano?
We had a piano in the house. We moved to Littleton, I guess 1986, I think, from Lancaster, PA. And there was just like a big box upright in the house that we moved into. My brother and sister both kind of gave it a shot. And my sister is the one that taught me my first song on piano. It was Jolly Old St. Nicholas on the Black Keys. And from there, uh, my parents got me lessons with a Suzuki teacher. You're familiar with the Suzuki
I am.
method?
I'm a child of the 80s as well.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
excellent. So I learned Suzuki method, and that's like Suzuki. I think the best thing it's got going for it is the tunes, like
Yeah.
best tunes. I'm, like I do a little piano teaching and stuff, and I'm still teaching out of piano book, like Suzuki book one. And all those songs sound great and they're easy to play. And, so that's what got me going. And then just the sound of the piano,
Yeah.
took over
Yeah.
my life for a few years there.
That's amazing. And also, mentioning that you're teaching piano, here's a weird kind of question, and I don't know if there's an answer to it or whatnot, but is there anything that you're doing now as a piano teacher that you wish your piano teacher had done for you at that age?
That's a great question. I think maybe not at that age, but I think like maybe when I was like 8 or 9. No, yes, yes. So, the answer to your question, I wish my piano teacher encouraged me to sing more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, like I didn't sing at all until like college.
Really?
Like I didn't think I got any like singing tutelage until college, until I had to do a ensemble for piano. So I did choir, and I don't know, it was like awesome. Like what a great experience to sing with other people and stuff is so
Yeah.
cool. And I just wish I got started younger. So it's like always going to be a bit of a struggle for me, in terms
Yeah.
of technique.
That makes sense. Was it hard to figure out how to sing and play at the same time? Because I remember like it took me there. There used to be like I play guitar, but like
Yeah.
for the longest time in the world, like I could only play certain songs if the rhythm matched kind of the rhythm of the vocal. Like 'cause
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and any kind of thought of like changing it up or doing two different things at the same time, forget about it. And I still do have issues from time to time.
Yeah. So I think I experienced the same thing where it's like some songs you can do, some songs you can't. And for the longest time, as a pianist that was singing, if I was like singing in bands and stuff, you could just play the piano part. You just play kind of like what you want to play,
Yeah.
and then your voice can kind of do whatever. What was really difficult for me is when I got into like solo piano. Like when I had a band that split up, and I was like, maybe I could just do gigs on my own. And when you're on the hook, not just for the piano part, but for timekeeping and the coordination of everything, that's when I really struggled. And I had to
Yeah.
like kind of break it down and like get out the metronome and figure out like what's going on. How do I fly the helicopter, while
Right.
also singing? So that was a trial by fire. And that was like when I moved to Texas and was doing dual pianos, when I auditioned, and the guy, the entertainment director, gave me a list of 50 songs and said, all right, well, learn these 50 songs. And then when you have them and they're good, like, then we'll start giving you money. But in the meantime, just like swing by, grab a drink, play some songs, just like figuring it out. And just crashing and burning through that period of time,
Yeah.
and realizing like, wow, like that didn't feel good at all when I played that song and stuff. And like the audience can tell that it's different when I play and when everybody else plays. So I think that was kind of like my trial by fire. And now I'm, that was my like learning that was my Rocky montage kind of thing, and then at the end of that, like I feel way more confident in terms of like accompanying and also fitting back into the band's texture.
Yeah.
Like I can make more choices.
It's weird how much of that is just like you said, confidence. Like, like and it doesn't even have to be perfect if you're confident enough to go, no, that's what I meant to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that phrasing was on purpose. I don't know what you're thinking, like you mentioned go ahead. No, go ahead.
You're like your wrongness needs to be, like it becomes right if you have the confidence.
That's right. It's exactly right. It was deliberate. There's deliverance. Yeah. That was my putting my own personality on it. You mentioned playing in bands. At what point were you finally like, what age were you finally like playing in bands? Were you like jamming with other kids in school or?
Well, I was like, a drummer actually in high school.
Oh, okay.
Like I got a drum set when I was, I think like 13. And that was my thing. That was my instrument that I played with other people. Like I didn't think that like piano was a social instrument at all. It was like you play some Chopin for a recital and people clap. And so when I was starting to get into like rock music and like, like your Green Days, your Bad Religion, Rancid and stuff, I was like, well, I'm going to be a drummer. That's how I fit into that. And I was, I have older brother and sister, so I was playing with kids in that age group.
Okay.
And
like parties and stuff like that, or just kind of like, were you playing out or just mostly playing together?
Yeah, mainly just playing like parties and stuff. Like your high school or your middle school talent show, your high school talent show. I didn't know how to find gigs in that time at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember same thing. Like the talent show was always like the big thing, the big performance, and then like my senior year, I think, or maybe my junior year, we got invited to like play a few grad parties, and we were just like, "Oh my God, we're gonna make it!"
Yeah,
and we didn't make it.
No,
we weren't great. It turns out that when you're playing a family graduation party and you start playing Killing in the Name and you don't edit, they don't want you to play more.
No,
that
didn't
weird.
Go over.
No, it was like after the third "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me." They're like, we're pretty much going to tell you. So yeah, that was over. But it was good times. Good times. So you were playing drums. What was like kind of the first like playing out band? Like what were you playing drums in the first playing out band, or did you finally realize the piano also can rock?
So the first playing out band that I got into had the worst band name of all time, Hang the DJ.
Okay.
So
yeah,
everyone thought we were either like a Smiths cover band or just like, I don't know, like anti-club music band. But we were like a power pop band.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Drummer, guitarist, and bassist. And we all like kind of like split leads and sang harmonies and stuff. And that was the first band that I like started writing for. And we had a really good relationship with the venue, the Chameleon Club in Lancaster. Are you familiar?
Yeah. That's a throwback.
RIP, great venue. Got to open up for like, like Jimmy's Chicken Shack. And who else do we open up for? I don't know, there's like random like touring acts like that. But like, and then that was the band that we're like, man, we're good. We should go to Nashville. We'll be able to just like, fit right in. And as a 20-year-old kid with no connections, it was not ideal. And I ended up just kind of like working food service for 6 months until the band broke up. And then I, moved back to college.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that was that's when I was like, okay, maybe I could be like piano guy, front man, and I could get like a real drummer, a real drummer to play with.
What was school? What were we going to school for?
I went to school for music business and technology in Millersville.
Okay.
So it was like a performance degree in piano, and then also like a couple, like I had to take macroeconomics and like a couple business classes. We had a music business course, but for the most part, it was such a young program that no one knew what it was, what it was supposed to be, what the curriculum should be. But the cool thing about that is I was the studio manager for the recording studio. So I put a band together and we cut our record at the studio for free.
Oh, that's sick. That is sick.
incredible. And the amount of tinkering you can do when you have unlimited free studio accents. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I don't know how fully equipped the studio was, but just from twisting knobs and figuring stuff out and like, playing it in the car and stuff. Like, I listened to the record we did on the way home from a gig on Sunday, and I was like, this holds up for me. Like, there's some performance stuff that maybe I'd adjust, but like it stands the test of time, and it was very cool. And like, what an awesome resource.
Yeah. Do you still have the tapes and stuff of that? Because something very similar happened to me recently where I was talking to a friend of mine. We recorded something back in like 2000 or something like that. And I was listening to it, and I was like, I feel like now with my knowledge, because, I was at the mercy of somebody else who produced that album and all. And I'm like, now with my knowledge, I'd like to take all of that and kind of remix this entire thing, because I feel like there's something there. It just sounds like shit because like it was produced so poorly. And I would also probably redo the vocals because they were terrible, but it's
always the vocals.
It's always the vocals. Yeah, I sometimes I just can't even listen to it. I'm just like, oh god, it's so cringy. But like, we don't, even if we had access to those tapes, I have nothing to play them on. So like, do you have any of that digitized or?
Well, so we recorded that in like 2007, 2008, and so I had it posted on. I used TuneCore to get it on. At the time, Apple Music was the big thing, and later it got like placed into streaming and stuff. And I guess the revenue from the stuff we made lasted until about 2016 to pay the fee to keep it posted on the streamers, and so it came off until the pandemic lockdown. And I was just talking to the guitarist in the band, and I was like, I listened to it, like, I had the CD in the car, and I listened to it the other day. I'm like, it's pretty good. Like, it is maybe a shame that it's not up on the streamers anymore. Cause he was always like, hey, you should put that up there.
Yeah.
Like, it's good, and cause like I have like a little bit of like, well, a lot of guilt for kind of like how that project ended and stuff, and how the wheels kind of fell apart. And he was like, yeah, but like, that just shouldn't mean you throw out the good stuff. Yeah. And so he runs a recording studio in Lancaster now called Kaleidoscope, and he is like, just get me a copy of the CD. I can rip the WAV files off that, and I can, like, get it and send it back to you. So in 2021, I put it up with DistroKid, just to like, so it's out on the, on the ethereal waves, the internet, forever. And I think that's when I started thinking about like writing and recording my own stuff again. Yeah. Like, that was the big move. And so it's cool. Shout out Ben Roth.
That's awesome. What was that project? Was that Percy?
Yeah, it was Percy.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And now I'm kicking myself because I didn't realize it was up on streaming. I totally would have dove into that before doing this. It's all right. I'm just going to kick myself.
Good.
Continue.
Yeah, no, check it out. It's still it's there for you, Nate.
It's
whenever
cool.
You need it.
That's cool. No, that's a good after dinner, man. I will definitely check that out after we have our conversation here. So you said that was around 2007 that you recorded that, something like that, or?
Yeah, I think 2007, 2008, and then 2009 we toured the country and broke up. So. Okay.
Yeah. At what did you end up in Nashville again, or was it to Texas after that?
No, that was to Texas after that. We Leave at Midnight on our big cross country tour, and they were looking for someone to help with booking and stuff. So I ended up tour managing and then joining the band for the second tour. And I was like, I guess I'll just move down to Texas.
Yeah. What was that like? What area of Texas were you in?
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, San Antonio, rules, man. I love it down there.
Yeah, yeah. So you said while you were down there, you started auditioning and stuff like that. When did the was that down there where you interned?
Yeah, I did intern work for Gordon Raphael. That was like one of the factors in me moving down there because I heard that he was going down there to like produce some acts and kind of just kick around the city and see what was going on. And so I shot him an email, and much to my surprise, he responded immediately. And it's like, yeah, sure. Like, come follow me around. Like, send some emails for me. And I ended up playing in his band a little bit, like just playing keys and singing backup and stuff.
That's killer.
Yeah,
What
very
are
cool.
there are there any projects of note that you worked on when you were interning there, or?
The main project that he was working on, was a singer songwriter called Ricky Berger from kind of like Bakersfield, California. Kind of like she was like a Disney princess, multi instrumentalist, just like awesome singer. She had songs where she'd like glockenspiel with one hand and piano with the other stuff. So really incredible, like lush, like multi-tracked, 100 vocal tracks kind of stuff. It's awesome. I
That
come to think of it, I haven't checked in on how that project turned out, but just being in the studio was incredible.
Yeah. What like any kind of I mean, obviously you probably learned a lot working next to Gordon like that, but like anything of note that kind of jumps out that like you picked up on for being in the studio, I guess, because like I always the thing that always amazes me about working with people who that have made a career out of working in the studio is just trying to find that comfort, because I've never been comfortable in a studio and ever like
Yeah.
because like all I'm doing is like counting money the entire time
Yeah,
I'm in the
yeah.
studio. You know what I mean? Like, so I've never been able to find like that comfort zone. But is there any kind of thing you picked up on that helps there?
Well, I think just what you said there is that it's all about the comfort. Because I've been there too when you're in your head thinking, all right, so I've got 5 hours booked and that costs X amount of money, and I'm counting on getting this amount of stuff done. So
Yeah.
when you watch the hours just fall off the clock, you're like, oh shit, now I'm like, now I need to rethink my budget, or like,
Yeah.
well, maybe this is an EP, not an LP.
I can't tell you how
But
many times I was like,
yeah,
I should probably take that again, but like,
yeah, no,
you know,
they're gonna have to Melodyne that. I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
But yeah, to uh Gordon is a master of not just like establishing kind of like a relaxed, fun vibe, and finding like such a good way of hey, let's just try it like this. Like we've already got it. It's already good. But here's the cool idea. Let's try this. And realize like valuing the vibe and the comfort level over everything else. Because if you're uncomfortable, if you're worried about time falling off the clock, you're gonna hear it in your voice. I mean,
Yes.
you're gonna hear, like me personally, I'm gonna hear it in my voice if I'm uncomfortable. And I think that's the best thing. And not like, for example, there's this one tune where it was like we required a baritone voice, like a deep voice singer for this one part. And we brought in this one guy whose voice just wasn't low enough. And instead of being like, this is bad, or this isn't working out, it's just like, come in, do the work. And then the next day it's like, we're going to have to find somebody else,
Yeah.
like, and that's not a challenge for the current day. That's like for the next day. All right, this isn't working out. Let's just play out the string and then we'll be all set tomorrow.
Yeah, that's wild. So you're down there till 2013. Is that when you said you moved back up here?
Yeah.
So jumping into kind of the piano bar nature and stuff like that. Was there anything you had to kind of switch about your playing? Because obviously now playing, requests and stuff like that. What is like, I guess, what does playing in a piano bar entail? Because all I can think of is you have to know essentially everything, right? Like you have to be able to on the fly. I'm sure it's easier now with iPads and stuff like that, but like to be able to just kind of pull off a request like that, what was the growing pains of that?
So there's a bunch of different thoughts across the industry about how to approach that. The Howl at the Moon, the bar that I worked for, our approach and my approach now is don't worry about half-assing everything. Whole ass the things that you can. Like pick a song and learn the shit about it. Like learn how to play everything. Read the Wikipedia page, watch the music video and stuff and then bring it to work and try it once. If it doesn't work, try it again. Try it 16 more times. Maybe it won't work. Maybe it'll never go over. But if you play it 16 times, you know it. Yeah. And then in five years from now, when it gets requested, you'll know it and you'll have seen the music video and you'll have read the Wikipedia page and you'll be able to connect with that person that requested that song. And so it's not just like a thing you can do. It's kind of like a part of your identity.
Yeah. Okay.
It just builds kind of the musical castle. And the other cool thing about that is when I come into the gig, I have my own bricks in the musical castle. I've got the Bad Religion songs. I got the NoFX songs that will never, ever be requested in a million years. But when someone wants to hear Waltz Number 2 by Elliott Smith, I can have that moment with somebody. You come with your identity for the gig, and then you build upon the identity. It's a very long-winded response. I don't know, like any questions about all that?
No, that's amazing. Like, I have a few questions about it. It's my job. No, I'm just kidding. The one of them is, you said about spending your time, play it, 16 times, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Is there any song that you've tried to make work continuously that you just can't find the in on, that you still think would be an incredible song to bust out at a piano bar?
Yeah. You remember the Lego movie?
Yes.
Tegan and Sarah's Everything Is Awesome.
Oh yeah.
I was so certain that it was going to work. I played it a million times, and every time the audience just kind of looked at me and was like, we all talked and we hate this. We all agree. It's unanimous.
That's how I felt recently. I worked really, really hard on a solo acoustic version of I'm Ken. I'm just kidding. Yeah. And I think it works. All right. But every time I play it, like like one time I played it, there was one girl there with her parents, and her parents were like, we had no idea what just happened, but she said it was awesome. And I was like, that's all I need. I'll take it out of the set list. You gave it to me, like I got my one out of it. But no, it's rough. Like, I've always thought, cause like, I do solo acoustic stuff a lot, just in, bars and stuff like that. That's my only tether still to my old music career, is, selling my soul, one cover at a time. But, and I'm cool with it. Like, I dig it. They pay me. That's all I care about. And I entertain, and I get to play and stay on top of things. But I've never been good at song selection ever, because the things I want to play, no one wants to hear, and the things people want to hear, I don't want to play. Yeah. It's that's like a unique skill in itself. And you ever been to Tavern on Camac? Yes. That's like, I think the complete, like the kind of like the negative image of the piano bar, like when I say negative image, I mean like the yin to the yang. Yeah. It's like that gig is so, like, the people there, the piano players are so talented, and they're playing stuff that is so specific, and you're just like in awe on how good they are, like, and
and then it's like you can sing a song if you want. Like it's you go there to admire.
Yeah.
And then Howl at the Moon's like, the best song you could play is Mr. Brightside. You're going to hear that 4 times a night. It's going to get requested all the time. People are always going to sing along to it. And it's just so cool, like, to have both.
Yeah. 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 Because you need both, like you need, you need to be in all, but you also need to be a part of it sometime. Like you need that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I think probably at this phase of my life, I'm much more of a Tabernacle Mac than a Howl at the Moon guest, sort of the target market. But, that je ne sais quoi of what makes a song connect to the masses.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Sometimes I think like certain artists are more attuned to it. Nelly, for whatever reason, people really connect to Nelly.
Yeah. That's so funny because we used to cover Hot in Here, and I literally just got a message right before this from my bass player who was like, "Do you still have that video of Hot in Here? Because I feel like my kids are old enough to see it." And I was like, "I do. And I'll send it to you."
Excellent.
It's wild. There's a lot of synergy going on today. The other thing I'll say, though, about covers, which always amazes me, is I don't know if you get this a lot, but and you're probably better at this than me because I'm kind of a troll sometimes when I play. But if someone says to me, like, "Can you play a Tom Petty song?" Like, I know what they want to hear. And I'm not going to play it, so I'm going to play like "Only the Losers" or something like that. Like,
right? Yeah.
And then they'll always be like, "Are you ever going to play that Tom Petty?" And I was like, "It was 2 songs ago." And I didn't hear it. But are there any artists who your back catalog is strong on that, like, if someone leaves that open-ended thing, you might kind of try to drop a little science on them like that?
Yes. I mean, like Billy Joel and Elton John, and it's not just like. I feel like your impulse to play the B-side, it's smart. It's a trap almost.
Yes.
So like we get those requests, we got like an any Billy Joel. If you get an any Billy Joel request, it's in your financial best interest to not to play the most obscure Billy Joel song you can think of. Like, I'll hit him with like Always a Woman. Or something that you wouldn't think of, because it's going to make you look cool, and it's going to incept everybody else in the audience that, like, maybe if I pay $20, I can hear Piano Man. You heard that one?
Yeah, yep. It's funny you said that. Another one of my past lives, it was a karaoke DJ, and I had a very long list of songs where I, first of all, never want to hear ever again. Paradise by the Dashboard Lights is one of them.
Yes.
And Picture by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow. Never want to hear those 2 songs ever in my life. But I obviously Piano Man's got to be one for you. Are there any others that are kind of staples of the I never want to have to play this, but I will if I must?
I think that I have a theory that the least sexy song of all time is All Star by Smash Mouth.
I believe that. Yeah, I can get on that.
Yeah. All Summer Long by Kid Rock.
Oh,
is
God.
Just, the worst. A song you might not know about, but is equally terrible. It's called All Night Longer by Sammy Adams. It's one of those songs that just lists a bunch of brands of alcohol.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And then there's like a chorus that college kids can sing to. Like, I learned that because it hit the piano a bunch of times, requests. And I'm like, I've been here for a while. Let me help the team and learn this song. And I didn't know how big of a sacrifice I was making. But definitely that one. I'm good. I'm good.
Wow. Yeah, I that one missed me, and I'm kind of curious. I might have to.
You don't need to do this, Nate. You don't need to listen to it.
It's funny you mentioned All Summer Long because I only found this out recently that that song was produced by Mikey Clark. and Mikey Clark is the guy who produced all of, I don't know of all of, but at least all of the original Insane Clown Posse albums. And all of a sudden, it all made sense to me. Like
I can see how that connection was made. Like, let me put you in a room with the ICP guy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll bastardize Werewolves of London and Sweet Home Alabama for you. Yeah, it's crazy. So you end your way back here. You said 2020, 2021, you re-released the Percy disc on streaming, and that kind of inspires you to get back into making music. Tell me about the birth of the Granddogs.
All right, so Granddogs, after the pandemic lockdown, when they started opening up in some of the redder states in America, I got offered a position to reopen the club in San Antonio. So I spent 4 months down there, and so I was just working at the club away from my family, a lot of free time. So my good friend Ryan Teeter of Orange Tape Studios, so recording engineer, mix engineer. I got in touch with him and I was like, I have some song ideas. Let's get a band together and just work them out. So we had one rehearsal and then we went in the studio and kind of just found, some tunes and put them together. He mixed it, did a great job. And then when it was time to go back to Philly, I was like, I want more, I want to let me put together a band to play these tunes. And then I was just through my cousin, I was able to meet some good musicians, and that ended up with me meeting KT Bender, who's they're the bass player, vocalist. So for a while it was just me, KT, and this guy Braden on drums. Braden ended up leaving, and then so I got in touch with Drew O'Connor, who runs sound at Jose Pistolas, which is right across from Howl at the Moon. So just kind of knew him from being around and stuff, and I knew he was a drummer. So then it became me, KT, and Drew, and then I got in touch with Randy. I saw Randy perform at one of the venues that Drew was running sound for. And I was just very, very interesting singer, performer and stuff. That's cool. And just kind of we established a rapport online, just kind of hyping each other up when we were releasing songs and stuff. And KT couldn't make a gig over the summer one time. And so I reached out to Randy and was like, dude, would you want to sing some songs? And so we put together a set. We were playing at Ortlieb's with a band called Night Fury. Okay. You ever heard of Night Fury? They rip. The experience was great. And I was like, how cool would it be if Randy and KT were in the band and we were kind of a three-headed rock and roll beast. And so, Randy and I KT and I talked about it, and then we presented the idea to Randy, and Randy was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
That's killer.
Thus the Granddogs.
That's awesome. What's the writing process like? Are you kind of creating the backbone and bringing it to the band, or has it become a collective kind of writing approach?
So I think with all the stuff we've done so far, it's been I come with the ideas, and then Randy and KT make it good. Yeah. I talk to songwriters about this sometimes. When you write a song, how does it sound in your head? Does it sound good?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah, it does. And then I can't make it sound good.
See, I have the exact opposite thing. This is going to sound mean. I feel like the songs in my head sound like a Taylor Swift recording.
Okay.
No, no judgment on Taylor Swift or whatever. Don't come for me, Swifties. But just the production style, how it's just, everything's like notes and like kind of
Yeah.
like sterile and perfect or whatever. It's not in a room, it doesn't have the warmth or punch that audio engineers are searching for. So then when you put it out in the world, I feel like it sounds so much better. It makes so much more sense. I don't know. For me, that's like the coolest part about collaborating.
Yeah. I've been trying to find. I used to my old band was this band called the Impact Players, and we had like a dual front person, and I used to kind of write things because I knew he could sing better, and I knew that he could play guitar better. And literally, like every song I write in my head, like after I track a demo, I'm like, God damn it, I know this sounds good, and I know what I want it to sound like. I just know that I can't do it. So that's like, so it is funny that it's the opposite. Like
we are essentially the same person, Nate. We both deal with the same things.
It's wild.
It's so nice. And especially like Katie is like a mezzo soprano and Randy is like, mixed the entire way up. So like I can write like the Robert Plant, Journey notes and stuff, and then like either Katie or Randy can sing it, and it's gonna sound so good.
That's awesome. That is so cool. So you guys did House of Empty in 2022. Was that the same lineup? Was that all of you together, or was that pre Randy joining?
That was that was like the Texas sessions.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing. Yeah, we did after we all got together, we did like a little live EP, and we put that out kind of like as is. We put a master fader on it and just brought it up to streaming levels and put it out with the idea of like, we need to get something that is the canonical Granddogs out on the streamers so people can listen to it.
You seem to have left out one member of the Granddogs who I very much want to talk to you about as a dog person, and that is, tell me a little bit about your pup, because it's an adorable dog.
Oh, thank you. So the Granddogs, the name Granddogs comes from when my parents would dog sit my dog. They'd be like, "Oh, like I'm sorry, we can't come over tonight. We have the Granddogs this weekend." So that made it into the band name file in my phone. And, I started thinking about it more and more. And I'm like, no, that one's mine. That's my band name. So Peaches and Susan are the Granddogs. And Peaches passed in February 5th in 2024.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Thank you. She was 22 years old.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So not a complete shock. We're still utterly devastated. But and then Susan's 15 years old. She is dead asleep in her crate behind me. What's up, Susan? Yeah. So they're kind of like our mascots, I guess.
Yeah, that's so cool. Is that Susan on the cover of Goddess of Love?
Oh no, that's Peaches.
Oh,
that's Peaches when she was 8 years old in 2010.
Wow.
So just a wee babe. She's going to be also on the cover of the album, and the album's going to be called Peaches.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful tribute. Beautiful tribute. Tell me a little bit about the album. So August, is that what we're shooting for still?
Yeah, we're shooting for August 20th is the date. It's 11 songs. I'm really excited to share it with everybody. We recorded it kind of like piecemeal over the course of 2 years.
Yeah.
2 meals. Yeah. Breakfast and dinner. And then we kind of gained momentum over the last year. I think we started recording before Randy was in the band.
Oh, really?
The last track on the album is called Straw to Gold, and we recorded it we recorded the floor tracks for it right before KT left for North Carolina for the summer. Like I thought it might kind of be the last thing we did, but we kept it going. And so that was the first thing. And then we just do sessions every now and then when we could, chip off a couple songs. And then after a while, I was like, this is going to be an album. Like we have enough material for an album right now. And it was very cool. We recorded it at Undercarriage Studios by Tom Spiker. You know Tom?
I know that name. I don't know him personally, but I know of him.
He's great. I met him because his kid and my kid went to the same dance school.
Oh, okay.
And then yeah, so and then at over pandemic, I was doing outdoor gigs in Jersey, and I just played a dueling gig, and he was the guitarist for it. And I was like, why the hell do you look familiar? And we eventually got to the bottom of it. And, just through talking, he was like, oh yeah, he teaches at UArts, like he teaches adjunct recording classes at UArts. And when it was time to start recording stuff, I'm like, this guy seems like very knowledgeable. Like I won't have to worry about expertise. I know I'll have the right gear. And it was awesome to work with him. Also, he played a ton of guitar on the record.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've never really had a steady guitarist. We are very much open. We are ready to mingle with a guitarist. So yeah, like I played a little. My friend Kyle Perella played a little guitar, but the most of it was Tom just putting it down, just like listening to the tunes in real time and writing guitar parts.
That's awesome. You're gonna have to just call him up to the majors and tell him he's in the band now.
I feel like he is in the majors.
Yeah.
He plays with like Don McCluskey's band.
That's
like,
why I know his name. That's why I know his name. Okay.
He is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. That's where I know him from then, because I've seen Don a bunch, and he has been on the show, and Sean, who plays percussion with him, has been on the show. So like that would have been the connection. I'm terrible with names, I'm going to be honest with you, and that's
me too.
I am a face guy though. Like I will recognize a face. Like I know this dude, and I just can't picture where from. So 2 singles out so far. When You Call and Goddess of Love just came out today, which this is going to be up on Monday. So it just came out last Tuesday. This is a quick equation I do in my head when I have to talk in the past like that. Any other singles before the album comes out, or are we just waiting for the big reveal?
We're going to try to do 2 more singles before the album comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one, I can say that the next one will be Wither on the Vine.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Are you doing a physical release with this, or just to streaming?
Well, Nate, I wasn't gonna, but then I listened on the way home from that gig. I just got we're just like getting the timing right on the masters right now.
Yeah.
Working with Ian. What is it? Ian Bennett. Do you know Ian?
I know him, but not know him.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah.
So he's mastering the record, and I was like texting with him today, and he was like sending me videos of his computer screen to like work out timing and stuff. But it's like it's happening. Like it's ready, and I've been listening to it, and I was like, shit, I might have to press vinyl.
Yes. That's what I like to hear. I have this weird obsession where I need like a piece of vinyl that exists from every guest who's ever been on the show. So it's always a question I ask, because I'm just like, hey, can you make sure that my OCD is satisfied by releasing vinyl specifically just for me to not have a blank spot where that episode would go in my on my shelf.
Yeah, for no other reason than that, Nate. I will press vinyl just for you.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Well, at this time, you want to jump through the gauntlet. These are my questions that I ask every guest that comes through here. It starts with the one-hit wonders, and it's one-hit wonder in name only. And this is a special one for me to ask a piano player, Billy Joel or Elton John? Who do you prefer?
I really wish I had a harsher, more concise take for you, Nate. I'm a bit ambivalent. I think Elton John is the cooler answer. I will say Billy Joel is more physically fun to play.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. That's cool.
Is that too equivocal?
No, I think that's perfect. That's you like a Billy in the streets and an Elton in the sheets. Is that how we would do that? I don't know. It's a cliche. Yeah. That's how we're going.
Hell yeah.
Number 2, Debbie Harry or Joan Jett?
Oh, Debbie Harry by a mile.
Yeah. All right. Aretha Franklin or Tina Turner?
Definitely Aretha. Like the best human ever at one thing. I got to go with Aretha.
That's actually a very, very solid way to describe her. I like that a lot. I like that. The Nirvana or Pearl Jam?
Another one where I don't have a super harsh take, I would say, because I haven't listened to either very much, I would say Pearl Jam seems more interesting to me.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I'm a Pearl Jam guy, so that's right. You're buttering me up with your answer, and I always like to make the joke. I think I made it in the last time I was talking to Autumn Luz and Sam Wee, that I had said there's no wrong answers to any of these except for one, and that was it. And you guessed.
Oh, wow. Good. And step on the landmine. Fantastic.
The next one, the big cliche, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but maybe I don't. Beatles or the Stones?
Yeah, you know the answer.
Yeah.
It's Beatles. It's Beatles. Like, there's Stone songs that don't even sound good.
That's fair.
Beatles are incredible, man. No, like when I was a kid, it was like Star Wars and the Beatles were like the Bible. Kind of, like they existed before time for me.
I dig it. I can absolutely dig it. You can't see it. You can't see it. There's a Millennium Falcon behind me right here. I'm a bit of a Star Wars guy. And the audience knows this, but my wife and I, when we got married last year, were dressed as Han and Leia. So a bit of a nerd.
Wow.
So I'm with you on the Star Wars thing. The last one of these, I think I might also know this answer as well. Bohemian Rhapsody or Stairway to Heaven?
Yeah, that's definitely Bohemian Rhapsody.
Fun one to play?
Oh, yes, very fun. Queen is very physically fun to play.
Yeah.
And sits nicely in my shitty voice. Like
I like it. I like it. The next section is the top 10 countdown. Of course, we use Jawn in this area to be whatever you want it to be, but you, of course, already know that. Doesn't have to be music, can be anything you want it to be. Number 1, what was your first Jawn? What was the first thing you were obsessed with as a kid?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah? Favorite dinosaur?
Favorite dinosaur? The Carnotaurus.
Ooh, which one is that?
It's like a cooler looking T-Rex.
Okay, I like it. I was a Stegosaurus guy myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the appeal of the Stegosaurus?
It's just the plates in the back. I always thought that was really cool. Yeah. Big fan.
Hell yeah. Dinosaurs rule.
Number 2, what's your current Jawn? What are you into right now?
Excellent question. I've been going to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm like lifting weights and stuff.
That's what's up.
It's the only thing that seems to make my physical body feel less terrible. Like, I don't know. It's nice. My back doesn't hurt anymore and stuff.
Oh, wow. So you're doing it proper then? Because
I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Stay tuned.
That's awesome. So number 3, what was your first live show you ever saw?
First live show. The first like proper concert, like, with like real concert thing was Bucko 9. Remember
Hell
Bucko
yes,
9?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Boston hanging out with my Uncle Joe, and we just kind of like were walking around the city, and there was a skate comp going on, like a Vans touring thing, and Bucko 9 was the band, and I was like, oh, I love that. Like what was their song? My town, my street.
Oh my God, yes.
Can't be me. Yeah. So like, it was really cool to be able to see. It was incredible.
That's
a Buck
awesome. That
09.
is so cool. Yeah, I was a bit of a ska punk guy in
Hmm.
the late '90s. That was kind
Yeah.
of my almost near total identity. As a matter of fact, I worked at Sam Goody, and I remember trying to tell them, I was like, "You guys need a ska section," and they were like, "We don't." And they were like, "It'll be gone." And I was like, "No,
Give it
man,
a few years.
I was like, nah, man, it's forever." And like they said, like I'm still friends with a bunch of the people who are my managers and all. And they're like, "Hey, remember when you wanted to make a ska section and a swing section?" And I'm like, "All right, fuck
Yeah.
off. Like I get it."
Yeah.
Pretty much, you put
Man.
horns in something, I'm there. Like I love horns, man.
Yeah, same here. I think it permeates everything that I've done since too. Like
Yeah,
the ska, like your Swirl Nut Zippers and your I don't know, Johnny Sockos of the world, like your mustard plugs, or it's all still in there.
it's all there. It's all there. Number 4, what was the last concert you saw? Last live show?
So the last live show that I saw, it was actually the day Peaches died.
Oh no.
I was in Nashville for work. And like I was at like the piano players conference thing. And so I'm just like in the hotel room in the dark by myself, alone all day. But I had to go to the awards dinner that night. So I went to that, and a couple of my former coworkers, like people that I played a couple gigs with, that had since moved on or singer-songwriters in Nashville, like music production people and stuff. That day, the guy Max was playing keys for an artist called Johnny Catini, who's awesome, kind of like Beatlesy singer songwriter, and he was playing a show that night, and so we went and saw it, and it was like so awesome. Like I've got
Yeah.
season tickets for Johnny Catini, and that Johnny Catini guy is also a part of a band called Morning Bird, and I'm like obsessed. I love it, everything they do. It's really cool.
That's
So I got to see
killer.
that live, and the show was awesome.
That's awesome. And now you've piqued my interest, and I have to ask. So, at a piano conference, if there's a piano, who gets behind it first? Because that seems like or does nobody want to touch it at a piano conference?
It's very much like if there's like an opera, like we had in New Orleans one time, and one of our players just gave the band like $100, and we all sat in at all the different instruments and stuff. And my boss at the time said, "So you're going to participate in the dick measuring contest?"
It's awesome.
So there's like two minds about the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. That's I like that would be something awesome to like walk into a hotel, check into a hotel, and see the board, and it's like welcome the piano conference. I'd be like, fuck, I'm in the right place. This is gonna be a good
Yeah.
night. Yeah, I could see that. The piano conference. Can people hang? Those people hang, or
Hang in terms of
like is there
what do you mean?
late night festivities? Like is that one
Oh
of those?
yes, absolutely. It is. You're getting 100 of the most functional alcoholics in the country together. Yeah, it can be a real disaster.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. It sounds like my kind of place. Number 5, what was your favorite concert? Best live show you ever saw?
My favorite live show was I saw Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos at the Basement when I lived in Nashville, and just like awesome. Like, are you familiar with them?
I am not. No, it sounds phenomenal though.
They're like, it's kind of like if Rivers Cuomo was the lead singer of the Decemberists.
Whoa, okay. I'm in. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
in.
just like really like morose, sardonic, kind of like sneering songs, but just like really good melodies and stuff.
That's killer. I literally just saw the Decemberists like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was one of the last shows I went to, though not the very last because it was for the non-com festival, and the very last thing that I saw was Fontaine's DC, and that was absolutely killer. Absolutely incredible. As a matter of fact, anybody who wants to jump on the socials, I uploaded, I think it should still be up there. I think I made it a reel. I can't remember. It might have been a story. Maybe it's gone. But anyway, I have I Meta Ray-Ban glasses, so it's got a camera built in, and so I hit record on the video and jumped in the mosh pit, and that was fun.
Incredible.
First mosh pit in like 20 years. I still got it.
You know what's really funny? So I listened in preparation for this. I listened to your Carsey Blanton episode.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I love Carsey. And on that episode, you mentioned those glasses.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then I opened up Instagram and they were advertised to me. Like that's how quick it is.
They know what they're doing. They know exactly
really
what
do.
they're doing. It's they're wild. Look, I'm not gonna I'm throwing out all of the kind of spyware and stuff like that. You know, excusing all of that and pretending it doesn't exist. They're absolutely one of the coolest things I've ever owned in my life because they have built-in Bluetooth headphones, so like I can listen to music without earbuds in, and I can like hear natural sound. And it's really hard. Like if you see me in a grocery store and there's no chance in the world that I'm not listening to music. Like, so
yeah,
it helps so much keep my focus. So, it's usually like just background jazz too. Like I just need something there to kind of like keep me straight. And
just turn down the volume of life a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It helps. It helps a lot. Number 6, who have you never seen live that you wish you would have? They can be living or dead.
Well, it's got to be Bowie, right?
Yeah.
I thought there would be time. Like, you know, I thought for sure there would be time to see Bowie, but yeah, Bowie.
This is the time where I will rub your nose in that the very first 2 concerts that I ever saw were David Bowie concerts. Once in '83 for the Serious Moonlight Tour, and once in '87 for the Glass Spider. I forget.
Wow. Good time period. I thought when you said that I've seen David Bowie, I was like, yeah, but you saw like goatee Bowie. No. I'm afraid of Americans Bowie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like, I mean, like I barely remember the '83 show. I was 6 maybe. But the '87 show was like otherworldly. Like that changed my life because and then ruined me for a while because I was like, oh, I'm going to a concert where there's going to be a big giant glass spider on the stage and all of this theatrical stuff going on. And then I was like, wait a minute, there's just 4 guys on stage. What the fuck is this? Yeah. Like, you know. But absolutely amazing, as you would imagine. Number 7, name an unappreciated Jawn. Something you wish had some more shine to it.
Brittany Ann Trambaugh, definitely.
Hell yeah.
I you know, like, because on the Philly Music Discord that we're both on that Brittany created, she's so generous with her, you know, her attention and her resources and everything. But I still think of her as like a celebrity, you know?
Yeah, sure, of course.
But I get that, like, in America, like, she's not on the Billboard Top 40 right now, and she should be.
I love it. She, I remember when she first posted about creating the Discord, I like sent her a message and I was like, do you think maybe a podcaster could join too? And she was like, of course. And I was like, yay! Like I was so excited. Yeah, no, she's the best. As a matter of fact, I got to get her on this show. I don't know what the hell I'm
You've got
for. To. Maybe I'll time it for the exponential music. Maybe sometime around there. That'll definitely happen. Yeah, she's amazing, absolutely incredible, and just a gifted not just a gifted performer, but also songwriter. Like she's just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the songs are just like instantly recognizable and lovable. Yeah, it's so cool.
And she wrote an incredible Christmas song too. I'm a guy who collects Christmas songs, so yes, absolutely. Any Granddogs Christmas songs? Because I also have a Christmas playlist that I like to put together.
I do have one written, and I think our style kind of lends itself well to that.
Absolutely.
So if there is like a Christmas EP or a Christmas single, the weird thing is you got to get on it during the summertime.
Right. Yeah.
Things take time. But yeah, I mean, yeah, yes, there's going to be some Granddogs Christmas songs for sure.
Hell yeah, I like the sound of that. But it's funny you said that because I always laugh watching like the behind the scenes of the Eagles recording their Christmas album because it's it's on their summer break in that small little window that they have, so everybody's like just decked out in shorts and stuff like that. And like Hawaiian shirts. It's great. It's fantastic. Number 8, what's your favorite album?
Favorite album? Shit. Yeah, that's a tough one. I really like When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish.
Yes. That's a great one.
It's so good. It's so good, and it's like I don't know. I just love it. It's so immersive. It's like cinema. And the way that she can have like just like cool kind of like groovy songs, and then she could have like a dirge that just murders you. It's such a cool experience, like from front to back.
Her and Phineas are absolutely incredible. But I will say, after this last album, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to listen to Hit It Hard and Soft or whatever.
I have, yeah.
I kind of want them to see other people for one album. I want to hear what it sounds like.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's not to say that this album isn't fantastic, because it is. Like, it's a complete thought, and I really like it. I kind of like how each song kind of has movements and kind of changes. By the time you're at the end of the song, you're like, wait, is this still the same song I was just listening to? But I do kind of just want to hear what would, like Phineas's solo album was one of my favorite albums, 2021, I think it came out, something like that. So like, I kind of want to hear them do something apart again, but also come back. Like, I don't want it to be a forever thing, just like a
just like a try it out, see what happens, see what the other flavors could be. Like I think I want to hear Billy with like a rock band. Would be killer.
Absolutely killer. Or even like now, I know this is like kind of I'm going to show my age on this, but like if she were to work with someone like, and these are going to sound like two different people, but they're kind of the same in my head. Someone like Pharrell or someone like Beck. All right. Like I feel like to just kind of touch in on that kind of not even hip hop, but just kind of like, she's got a very good rhythmic nature to her vocals, and I want to kind of exploit that. Welcome to the Billie Eilish podcast, folks. Here we go. The ninth one: name an artist whose output you'll consume anything they release.
Ari Aster.
Okay.
I haven't seen Beau's Afraid yet, but like I need to. I got season tickets for anything. Like the end of any Ari Aster movie is like it's like a 10 out of 10 in terms of intensity. Like it feels like your face is on fire.
Beautifully described. I love it. Great answer. The 10th and final question of the top 10 countdown. What is your favorite Jawn of all time? Again, can be anything you'd like it to be.
Favorite all-time Jawn. Shit. Favorite thing? I don't know, man. Music? Like the way that music sounds. When music sounds good, it's the best. Oh.
There is nothing better to me than hearing my new favorite song for the first time. Like when you're just like, oh, I'm going to be listening to this for a very long time. And this is like, it's great, man. No, it's a perfect answer.
Like, you ever hear the song Out of the Blue by Katie Pruitt?
No. As a matter of fact, it's so funny you said that, because I'm in another Discord and we do like album of the week, and Katie Pruitt was last week's album, and I just still have not gotten around to listening to it yet, but
well, she's like just supremely talented vocalist and songwriter. And I had a studio gig when I was down in Texas to play a cover version of this song, Out of the Blue by Katie Pruitt. And I was learning it, and I was like, holy shit, is this song like amazing? You know, like you're kind of like, I'm like, okay, so it starts to the 1, then goes to like, you know, a 7, and then, you know, like learning it mathematically. And then eventually you're just like, this is so good. And then I realized, you know, like as it made its way into my, you know, like regular consumption, I found that if I was 1% hungover or more, if I had 3 drinks the night before and I hear the song Out of the Blue by Katie Pruitt, I will cry 100% of the time. It's like one time I was talking to my daughter about the song Out of the Blue by Katie Pruitt, and I started crying because I was talking about it. And like, man, I don't know, and many other things that can do that.
Yeah, there's songs like Paprika by Japanese Breakfast that makes me weep uncontrollably in joy. Like there's just a tone that Michelle hits in the chorus that like I just start tearing up, like, and I can't help it. And you know, we were talking about Billie Eilish. What was I made for? Like I can't hear it. It doesn't matter where I am. I'm just like there, like the breath control she has singing that song at the volume she sings it for some reason just like absolutely murders me. It absolutely murders me. And like the best songs make me feel like, yeah, when music hits, man, when music's right and you're like in tune with it, there is absolutely nothing better. Great answer.
Like the sorry, there's a bunch of songs I could mention that like give you the physical response, where it's like something happens in your body when you hear this stuff. One thing I think of is 5 Years by David Bowie. Like
yes.
When he goes smiling and waiting, like in the build up, like when it just gets to the next intensity, like my arm hairs will stand up.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's just vibrations.
Yeah,
Why does it make that happen?
That's like when I was I forget what year it was, but I saw Wilco at the Tower, and it was the first time they were in Philly post the release of Sky Blue Sky. And I said to the people I went with, I was like, they're going to play Impossible Germany tonight. And I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to be a blubbery mess because that I was like, that song overwhelms me and I'm not ready to hear it live. And I was. And like my one friend turned and he was like, holy fuck, I thought you were kidding. And I was like, I can't help it. I can't help it. This is everything to me. Yeah, no, man, music's great. It's so great.
Music rules.
So Goddess of Love is out now, as is When You Call. You said you're planning 2 other singles. What was the name of the album again? Because I want people to be sure to check it out.
So the album is called Peaches.
Oh, that's right. God damn. Oh my God. I'm the best person in the world. I knew that. So Peaches, look for Peaches in August. We'll have links to all of this. We'll have links specifically to the Bandcamp because I like to direct people to where it helps people out the best. And yeah, man, I'm super excited for this album. Like I've loved the first 2 singles off of it. I was telling you, I think before we started talking, that I got to hear Goddess of Love just before we started listening to this. And I can't wait to dig in some more after we're finished. But Alex, thank you so much for doing this. Thanks for making awesome music and for taking the time. And most importantly, and you know, I don't know that anybody listening to this knows this. Thank you for your patience with how scatterbrained I have been in the past 2 months trying to schedule this, because I have been literally all over the place after launching a 3rd podcast. I actually pitched a 4th one, and the guy turned it down. And I'm like now that I'm deep in this 3rd one, I'm like, I am really glad that he turned that down. And after we stop recording, I will tell you what that was. But I'm sorry, sidetracked. Alex, thank you so much for doing this.
Okay, this is so much fun, Nate. Thank you so much for having me.
That was such a fun one. My thanks again to Alex for joining me on the show today. You can find Granddogs on Instagram and TikTok at Granddogs_music and on YouTube at Granddogs. Their latest singles, When You Call and Goddess of Love from the upcoming album Peaches, are available on all streaming platforms as well as available on the band's Bandcamp page at granddogs.bandcamp.com. And you can catch Alex every week performing live at Howl at the Moon. Links to all of those are, as of course, always in the show notes. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the Yo, That's My Jawn podcast wherever you get your podcast from. And yo, it is never too late to get yourself a super awesome Jawn Scout Merit Badge for citizenship of the world just by rating and reviewing us. Don't forget to visit www.yothat'smyjawn.com for the link tree with links to articles, merchandise, all of the previous episodes of this podcast, guest appearances on other pods, and more. And while you are there, be sure to sign up for our mailing list to get all of the updates delivered straight into your inbox. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YoThat'sMyJawn for updates and live streams. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter X at Yo That's My Jawn, and search Yo That's My Jawn on YouTube to find the Yo That's My Jawn YouTube channel. Like and subscribe the heck out of that ish. We want to hear from you. Reach out, and touch some Jawn. All right, folks, that does it for me this week. Hope you had as much fun with this one as I did. blue skies. Until next time, everybody.
That's my Jawn!
Displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. You taste things that don't need to be measured. Yo, That's My Jawn is a Lonely Monk production. Written and produced by yours truly, Nate Runkle. Theme song by me, under the moniker Nate 3.0. Special thanks to Fox Run Brands, DX Ferris, Andrew Scott, Maggie Poulos, Dan Drago, Natalie Runkle, and the beautifully vibrant and wickedly stunning Katie Daubney. If you or anyone you know has any ideas they would like to share or any guests they would like to hear on the podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at yothat'smyjawn@gmail.com or hit us up on the socials at yothat'smyjawn. Until next time, be sure to displace the guilt and embrace the pleasure. Tilt your head back and shout to the world, yo, that's my Jawn.